Morning. We just parked up at the old Dungeon Gill Hotel in Great Langdale. Head round the back of the hotel and dropped into the Valley of Mickleden, where today's destination is going to be straight ahead of us, the head of the valley there. To our right we've got the unmistakable Pike of Stickle, and to our left we've got the band. Behind the band we've got Pike of Blisco. Ahead of the band we've got Bowfell. Once we hit the head of the valley we're going to take a left and we're going to head up into Yeastyrigg Gill, just up there. It's the 6th of September 2025. We had a beautiful sunrise. It's clouded up a bit now, but we've got the promise of a good forecast. 90% chance of a cloud-free summit later this morning and no rain, so let's hope that goes to plan, because it's looking a bit dark up there in that sky. Cross Mickleden Beck by the footbridge here, next to this sheepfold, and then start heading into Yeastyrigg Gill. Here's the Rockstar. As we head up Yeastyrigg Gill, ahead of us to our right we've got the unmistakable Esk's Pike. Once we get up to that col below Esk's Pike we're going to head left again and head up towards Bowfell via the new route today for me, the Ridge of Hanging Knots. We're just approaching the top of Yeastyrigg Gill, where we should get a view of Angle Tarn, and just by this cairn in front of us we're going to take this path up that ridge there of Hanging Knots, just here, about 10 metres before the cairn. Take a sharp left. Right then, let's see where this path takes us. So far there's a good path on the ground. Let's hope it stays that way. We're ascending quickly now, about 700 metres. This route should come out between Esk Pike and Bowfell. The path's on and off a little bit sketchy, but as you can see there's plenty of footholds here where people's been before me. The clag's also in and out a bit, so we're not seeing much visually above us. It's clearing a little bit. Looks like we got a bit of the rocky stuff ahead of us. There's Mickeldon below us and Great Langdale, our route into the fells today. I guess when you're doing new routes like this, the crucial thing is knowing where you're at. I've got 3 maps and this route isn't on 2 of them, and that includes the Ordnance Survey map. There's no path on the Ordnance Survey map, but I do have a map with a path on. I'll show you, and I'll show you where I am regarding that path. But as you can see, we've got a good clear path on the ground and we've had no technical issues. It's very steep. Esk's Pike now down there below us. The Langdale Pikes behind us. I'm not going at the route totally blind. I've looked at this ridge many times when I've been up at Angle Tarn. I've seen the path at the bottom, but I didn't know what was ahead of it, so I never ever came up it. So now I have that map with the path on, I thought I'd give it a try. I've also never seen much information regarding this route via hanging knots on the internet or in any books, so let's make some. I know regarding my map there's some crags ahead of us. We're on a bit of a scree path now, but we have been on a good path all the way up. I just hope there's no obstacles at them crags, otherwise we could be going back down. Always take the safe option if you run into anything you know you're going to struggle getting back down. Don't go up it, go back down the way you came. If you're going to get stuck and climb up something you know you can't get back down, don't attempt it, because you certainly don't know what's in front of that, do you? But you'll always know what's behind you. We're actually past them crags now that I thought might cause us not problems but obstacles, and things have opened up for us. It's been a good clear route, no climbing or scrambling. As you can see, Billy's up there, the path's opened up and we shouldn't be too far away from the summit ridge between Esk Pike and Bowfell. And here's that path. Esk Pike behind us, and when we cross this little brow here we should see the summit of Bowfell. Across to our right we've got the big hills, Bowfell Pike and Bowfell, both in the clag. The summit of Bowfell straight ahead of us. And that's another new route completed. And what a fantastic route. Direct, nothing technical or any issues. A little bit of scree, a little bit of exposure, but very direct, almost to the summit of Bowfell. It's a 10 out of 10 for me, that one, definitely, and a route I'll definitely use again in the future. We're just approaching the summit of Bowfell now, up through its rocky, slabby, spiky summit. The summit of Bowfell, 902 metres. It's a Wainwright, a Burkitt, a Hewitt, a Nuttall and a Hump, and what a view you get from up here. Panoramic views across all of the big ones. From the summit of Bowfell we're going to head down to the Great Slab and then back into Langdale via Bowfells Climbers Traverse, which is just down there somewhere, past that cairn. So here we are, just above the Great Slab, just there. There's a cairn here, and the path runs down the side of the Great Slab to the Climbers Traverse, just down here somewhere. Here we are. Just look at that. Bowfell's Great Slab. If you hit it right, there's a couple of cairns marking the route down. Go on, lad. A little bit scrambly on the top section here. Once you drop into the bottom here, below Bowfell Buttress, which is that huge buttress there across the way, there's a few climbers on there today. You certainly don't want to head over that way because there ain't no walking route up there. When you hit this wet patch here that comes straight out of the rock here, take a right and join up with the climbers traverse. But before we do that, I'm going to sit and watch these climbers. Never actually came down the Great Slab to the Climbers Traverse. I've always gone up. It's a great route, fantastic route. I've been up it a few times, but as I said, never down. Look at this for a path. Wow. Plenty of exposure on here, but nothing technical again, just steep. This is where the Rockstar excels. Rocky, steep, exposed ground. It's very like your Shamrock Traverse onto Pillar. It's a great route in the winter, great route in snow, bearing in mind you need to be careful in the winter on here as it's very, very steep. If you did take a tumble in snow and started to slide down there, it would be a while before you stopped. Look at this, fantastic. Come on, lad. So that's us almost at the end or the start of Bowfells Climbers Traverse, where we're going to drop down into Green Tongue and back onto the band and then back down to Dungeon Gill. What a fantastic route, eh? Ahead of us to our left we've got the Langdale Pikes, Pike of Stickle. Straight ahead of us, in the bottom of the valley where Great Langdale meets Little Langdale, we've got Side Pike and Lingmore Fell. And straight ahead of us to our right, we've got Pike of Blisco and the Crinkle Crags. We're joining the path now where it meets the top of the band. That's the top of the band. It does have a summit, white stones, and it's a Burkitt, 568 metres. So now I'm back down onto old familiar ground. I'll give you a rundown of today's route. I head up to the summit of Bowfell via Hanging Knots. It was the first ascent for me. I'd never been up that route. The path was absolutely fantastic. Steep, direct, and almost pops out at the summit. From the summit of Bowfell, we dropped down the side of the Great Slab and met up with the Climbers Traverse. And for the first time I walked the Climbers Traverse back in an easterly direction. So I'll give you my opinion as to which way I prefer. Definitely preferred today's way down the Climbers Traverse. I just thought the views coming in from walking east were better. Wasn't as enclosed, it seemed to be a lot more open and exposed. You know, you get the full effect of that very narrow path. So, well, anyhow, that's just my opinion. I also believe finding the route, the Climbers Traverse, was easier from the top of Bowfell than it is from the bottom of the Climbers Traverse, where it is actually easy to miss the Great Slab and carry on towards the buttress, where you really don't want to end up climbing ground, as you've seen from the video. So yeah, I think in poor weather it's easier to get down the Climbers Traverse, so long as you turn right when you hit the water spout at the bottom. So to sum things up, I'm going to give the route a definite 10 out of 10. I'm even going to go as far as say it's definitely up there now in my top 5 routes in the Lake District. It's just fantastic. A bit of everything. So if you like the content of my channel, please think about giving me a subscribe. I'm going to continue to find these new lesser known routes, show you them, find the paths that don't exist on the Ordnance Survey maps and plot them on the GPX. If that's your kind of thing, hit that notification button and you'll get updates as to when I'm posting, because I post every week. Lake District Yorkshire Dales, Scotland, all over the place. Big shout out to a group of friends that I met on the summit of Bowfell. Dave Allen, completing his final wainwright today. Well done, mate. Fantastic. Deborah Howard and Colin Howard, old friends. Lovely to see you. And all of the people that you're with today. Please give me a subscribe. Well done, Dave. I think he was finishing on Allen Crags. 214. Thinking about it, I know you're finishing on Allen Crags because it makes sense, doesn't it? Dave Allen Crags. That's some view, isn't it, from the end of the band back down into Langdale. Path's pitched all the way to the bottom. Once we get through this gate, we've just got to pass through that farm down there, across a couple of fields, a cattle grid, and then we're back into Old Dungeon Gill. I'm going to wrap the video up here and say thank you for watching. It's been an absolute epic day on the mountains. Fantastic route. By the time we get back down to the Old Dungeon Gill, we'll be on about 8 miles. So it's goodbye from me and goodbye from our lad, the Rockstar. Today's walk starts off at the Old Dungeon Gill Hotel in Great Langdale, where we head off up the valley of Mickeldon. Once reaching the head of the valley, we head into Rosset Gill and steeply up the gill until we reached the col just below Rosset Pike. From there we turned left and head steeply up the northeastern shoulder of Bowfell to eventually reach the summit. Dropping down the Great Slab, we then met up with Bowfells Climbers Traverse and head east to the top of the band. Dropping down the band and back to the car at Old Dungeon Gill.